You are watching Joe's Bus Train Plan Lift Adventures here on YouTube, and this video is the Stourbridge to Kinver corridor, past, present and future. Now, before I tell you about the history of the corridor, let's take a look at a bit of history, what Kinver used to look like. So Kinver is located in South Staffordshire and is the sort of place that is difficult to distinguish between the mantle of a larger village or a smaller town, and it's around 5 miles from the urban town of Stourbridge on the edge of the Black Country. And it is very rural, and of course it's famous for its iconic Kinver Edge. Kinver was also famous for the iconic Kinver Light Railway. It opened in 1901 and started from the fishing pub in the small town of Amblecote, noted for glass blowing, as was much of the area, and the Kinver line formed a junction with the Dudley, Stourbridge and District Tramway companies, who also operated the Kinver line from 1902. The Dudley, Stourbridge and District Tramway Company's main line is now known as today's National Express West Midlands bus route number 6, as well as the less direct Dudley via Kingswinford, which is now operated by Diamond. Those lines all gave access to the rest of the Black Country, and Kinver proved to be a popular destination for Sunday school outings from the various churches and chapels that the Black Country was then filled with. So the tramway became a huge success, but however, the good times were not to last, as small independent bus companies started by men who had learned mechanical skills during the First World War would start competing with the Black Country's tramways in the 1920s, and the Kinver route was no exception, with bus operators running a through service from Stourbridge, from where tram passengers had to use a shuttle tram to Wollaston to connect with the light railway, and all of which pretty much ruined the viability of tramways. BET had its own bus company within the area, and the Kinver Light Railway closed on the 1st of March 1930. Now, one of the bus companies that came to Kinver was Midland Red, and the Midland Red's bus route to Kinver became the 250, not the Merry Hill Circular 250, and that service run from the more logical centre of Stourbridge, but obviously using the roads to reach Kinver rather than the tramway's own right of way. But over the years, other services would join the 250 on the Stourbridge to Kinver road, and there was the 254 which ran via Kinver from Stourbridge to Bridge North. You could still access to Bridge North from Kinver today, but however, that is only for cars. But however, there was a service that did go up that way, but that's going to be another time where I'll explain more on the Kinver blog. And which for many years, the 254 also featured a short working number 249 to the village of Enville, just beyond Kinver, and today mainly known for the brewery that produces Divine Enville Ale. Longer than this was the 190 that ran all the way from Birmingham to Ludlow via Stourbridge, Kinver and Bridge North. And indeed, during the early post of the World War II years, Kinver proved a popular destination for Midland Red's Birmingham passengers and Summer Sunday X82, which ran between the 2 points, and being effectively a short working of the 190. So those bus operators became a huge success, and the other Midland Red bus services to Kinver were the 883 and 884 from Wolverhampton to Kidderminster. However, WMPTE came along, but again, good times were not to last as passenger numbers declined in the late 60s due largely to the national growth in car ownership, resulting in the demise of the 190, 249, 883, 884 and X82 on the 3rd of December 1973, the WMPTE, known as the West Midlands Passenger Transport Executives, took over the Midland Reds operations in what was to become the West Midlands County on the 1st of April 1974. Kinver was to be outside this county, but the 250, operated by the taken over Stourbridge garage, became a PTE service from the date, and not so the 254, which, with the vast majority of the route being outside the new county, remained with Midland Reds, transferring from Stourbridge garage to Cradley Heath garage, that reopened to mainly operated PTE ex-Wolverhampton Corporation country services that headed out of the new county and were taken over by Midland Red as part of the WMPTE deal. This would not last long, as the 254 was merged with the Shrewsbury to Bridge North services 962 and 964, which were operated by the garage in that town and extended onto Stourbridge. But deeply rural area between Bridgenorth and Kinver made the difficult area to operate buses economically, and in 1979 the market analysis project Hotspur revision saw the 962 completely withdrawn and the 964 to be cut back to run only between Shrewsbury and Bridgenorth. The Bridgenorth to Stourbridge section was briefly covered by a subsidised service operated by an independent operator called Whittles, but even this didn't last long, not running beyond 1980. The 250 gained a 251 sister service at the time, replacing the 962 and the 964 journeys between Stourbridge and Kinver, and using the Midland Red route out of Stourbridge via the main road, as opposed to the 250's brief diversion via Bridle Road. And the 251 didn't last long, as 1980 proved to be a difficult year financially for the PTE, and particularly for the services beyond the county boundary, which were unable to accept the PTE's travel card. Therefore, the route was withdrawn when the 250 service was merged with one journey per hour on the 130 from Stourbridge to Birmingham, recreating a through Kinver to Birmingham service once more. And the 250 would only survive as a Sunday service, and this would last until the 130's demise as part of the PTE's 1983 Samuel and Dudley revisions, which saw the long-established route replaced by an extension of the ex-Birmingham City Transport Route number 9 from Birmingham to Quinton onto Stourbridge, and the 250 revived daily between Stourbridge and Kinver. And then the 250 was passed over to Dudley Garage, and there's been quite a few changes, especially with the Daimler Fleet line came along, and also then the 257 was extended down to Kinver, and so there's been quite a few changes. Then the deregulation came along, like there was a 277, 278 and 288, 88s, which went to and from Kidderminster via Kinver, but the 257 would continue, happily providing the pleasant fleet lines for the next 4 years. Then along came the 242, but not the current one we know today. It was in 1990 that the Kinver service section of the 257 was replaced by the extension of the 242, a long-established ex-Midland Red single-decker route from Cradley Heath to Stourbridge, that was then operated by the former Harts Hill garage, which is situated on the 6 and the X10 routes. and of course they used mid-70s vintage Leyland Nationals. As well as the Kinver extension, the service was also rerouted via the large Merry Hill shopping centre up at Briley Hill, but the 242 did not run on evenings and Sundays, so Staffordshire County Council would put a tender out for the Stourbridge to Kinver 242 at those times, which was won by Midland Red West using a Mercedes minibus from its Kidderminster garage, and that lasted a few years, but it was quietly withdrawn, to be fair, and the evening and Sunday Fleet Line journeys on the 257 had featured loads of different buses, and Hartshill Garage would close in 1993, after which the 242 would transfer to Wolverhampton Garage, again using DAF engine Nationals, but there was a twist as Metro West, the operator, had forced the WMT to bring back the 257, put their Nationals on the 242. So the 242 just continued, and but then and 1995 would see a genuine independent take on WMT on the 242. Hanson's had taken tentative steps in the world of local service work by winning a few local tenders, but soon decided to commence a commercial service 2 to 8 from Merry Hill to Kinver via Stourbridge, making a more direct run from Merry Hill to Stourbridge than the 242, competing with WMT's 296 before heading to Kinver along the same route as the 242. WMT fought back, cutting the 242 back to a Cradle Heave to Stourbridge minibus service, which didn't last very long, as well as other routes covered it. Instead extended the links operated 296 onto Kinver every half hour for a while, but Hanson's doubled their frequencies too. But it was all far too many buses for the route. So WMT, who were generally much happy in the urban West Midlands anyhow, would pull out of Kinver completely, leaving the area to Hanson's, and of course Hanson's would prove to be remarkably long-lived, extending the 228 from Merry Hill to Russell's Hall Hospital, but the company would sell out to Diamond in 2017. The operations passed over to their Kidderminster garage. So Diamond would continue to operate the 228, but however, 2020, the route was reduced to every 2 hours, and that meant suddenly the 228 was going to be withdrawn and suspended. But, however, the Green Bus Company, which was well known for its school and college services, they had done a handful of emergency routes, like they did the 38 Selly to Northfield after the collapse of IGO buses. And what the Green Bus did, they stepped in to run a 2-hourly 242 using one bus to and from the shopping centre at Merry Hill to the picturesque village via Stourbridge. And however, Diamond had to wait for a full 60-day registration period before it could withdraw the 228. So the 228 continued to run 2-hourly, providing an hourly service between the two routes, though, as will be seen, the 242 followed a different route to the 228, and both routes, though were temporary, both coming to an end when the 228 ended its deregistration in September. That meant Staffordshire County Council had to find a replacement, with Green Bus being a fleet that only possessed double-deckers. But however, Green Bus took on the route, but only operated between Stourbridge and Kinver. And the route continued to be a success, and it only operated between Stourbridge and Kinver, so the route was doing really well. So the Green Bus Company brought the Deckers back to Kinver for the first time in a while, and also connecting onto the train station at Stourbridge Junction. So the Kinver corridor continued to run throughout the rest of 2020 into 2021, and then in 2020, so it continued throughout the rest of 2020 into 2021, and obviously at the time when Diamond left the Kinver area, that meant Diamond would no longer serve Kinver ever again. But that wasn't always the case, as at the same time Coniston Coaches came to an end and they dropped the 580. It was meant to be taken over by an alternative operator, but however, due to operational reasons, they had to pull the route off. So Diamond stepped in to operate the 580 from Kinver to Kidderminster. And they've been doing that route ever since. So Diamond have been doing the 580. That is one of my favourite routes. But, however, in 2021 came the end of Green Bus. So the Green Bus Company announced that it would stop running into Kinver and would stop running the 242. And so then that meant who was going to be taking over the route. So the Green Bus, however, had to pull off the route. It was due to obvious reasons that was going on. So it stopped running on Friday, the September the 24th, 2021, following the end of subsidies that was going on to keep the Kinver to Stourbridge corridor running. But however, an alternative operator stepped in to take over, and that was Select Bus Services. And Select Bus Services stepped in to take over the running of the 242, running the same route as the Green Bus throughout the rest of 2021, but into 2022, Staffordshire County Council subsidised the route, and they've changed the route back to how it was, what the 228 used to do before, but however, adding the Hyperion Road onto the route. So the route now serves the Hyperion, and of course adding a school service going via Halfpenny Green from where no bus service has been through for such a long time. And Select Bus Services proved to be very, very popular on the Stourbridge to Kinver corridor. But, however, that only lasted from 2021 up until today. As from the 1st of September, Select Bus Services will be losing the 242, and taking over the route will be Diamond Bus. Yes, Diamond are going to be returning to the Kinver corridor, starting from the 1st of September, even though the 1st of September's on a Sunday, but it will be the 2nd of September when we see Diamond running the 242 service, and it will be a warm welcome back. So Diamond are so pleased to announce that they'd be taking over the 242 and the 242S services to Kinver from Select Bus Services. And the new service will also see some great improvements, with Monday to Friday daytime services increased to every half an hour, and more journeys serving the Hyperion Road loop throughout the day. And there will also be an additional AM and PM peak time journeys that are going to be added to the route. And this is going to be very beneficial. And of course, it's tendered on behalf of Staffordshire Council. And so it's going to be welcome back, Diamond, to the Stourbridge to Kinver corridor. And I will be doing that route under Diamond very soon. So anyway, let's take a look back at what Diamond used to do it as the 227 and the 228. If you remember, there was the 227, but that got merged into the 228 back in 2019. And I hope you enjoy this video. So, anyway, here is the 2020 footage of the 242 route connecting Merry Hill and Kinver via Stourbridge. Now, when the route was shortened from Stourbridge to Kinver to Stourbridge only, it basically followed the same route from what the Merry Hill version did, and the same applied with Select. So this is what the 242 corridor was like when it was going from Merry Hill to Kinver when the Green Bus first created the routes. So here we go. I hope you enjoy my YouTube videos, Just Bus Train Plan Lift Adventures. Shout out to the Black Country Traveller. You should check out this route, the Stourbridge to Kinver corridor, the 242, when Diamond take over from the 1st September, even though it's on a Sunday and the 242 doesn't operate on Sunday, so it'll be operating on the Monday, which will be the 2nd, and I am looking forward to be doing the 242 when Diamond take over, even though I'll still continue with Select to travel on the Select for the last remaining weeks. And of course I was on the 242 today and I had a B7 Volvo. Now, as you probably know, the reason why the Volvo was on, because the regular bus in Borough 200 actually had operational problems. So that meant it was swapped to a B7, and that made the day even better. So it was really nice to see a B7 doing the 242. For my point of view, because I've never seen a B7 do the 242. The last time I saw a B7 was when Diamond used to do the 227 corridor. And it's really nice to see that I've now took a B7 on 242. So anyway, this is the corridor. So the 242 followed the number 8, the 250, 251 and the 228 partially out the Merry Hill. Because if you remember that. But however, the 242 then turned off to follow the 28, which is now today's 142 and 142A routes. Because if you remember the 142 and the 142A, before, when they came to Merry Hill, it was known as the 28, operated by NXWM, running from Stourbridge to Merry Hill with an hourly journeys, continuing on to the interchange at Cradley Heath and on to Hales Owen. So it's half hourly between Stourbridge and Merry Hill and hourly between Stourbridge and Hales Owen. And so anyway, here we are. There's the Corn Exchange pub. So on the 242, well, when it used to come up to Merry Hill, so there's the Corn Exchange. So now we're going to follow the 28 route, which is now today's 142 and 142A services. So it took this hill down here, and I have taken a double-decker on the 28 route as well. So I took a double-decker on the 28 back in 2021. This footage was filmed in 2020. And so here we go, we're going down the slope. This is called the Delph, one of the Black Country's most iconic names, the Delph. And we're then going to turn left in a moment when we come to the bottom of the Delph, and then we'll be heading down towards Wivmore Sainsbury's, because the 242 served the Sainsbury's supermarket down at Wivmore. So that was really great for it connecting onto Sainsbury's at Wivmore, and also connecting areas where buses hadn't crossed for a while. We've part with the section beyond Wivmore Sainsbury's, because it didn't go up the slope for where the 28 went, which is now today's 142 and 142A routes. So here we go. We're now on our way. Now, as you know, the reason why this video was muted, because obviously my narration quality wasn't good at the time, but just enjoy the scenery. So the 242 heading out of Stourbridge towards Kinver, it went up Red Hill and then went into the junction station interchange. But however, during this film, it actually was diverted via the 318 and the 298 and 299 routes. If you remember the 298 and 299 that was operated by Diamond, lasting until the end of 2022 from when it got partially replaced by the 142 and the 142A services. And so here we go. We're now on our way to the train station, and of course with this serving Old Swinford and also serving the Old White Horse pub, because the only bus services that now serve the Old White Horse pub is the 125 and the number 7, because you had the 10A and 10C and the 251, but 10A and 10C and 251 routes are gone. So here we go. We're now on our way towards the junction station. However, the green bus during first part of 2020 was the only bus service to operate between Stourbridge town and the junction station. But however, in September, Bangor buses, which operate services within the Wolverhampton area, which includes the 5 and 5A to Codsall, the 530 to Rocketpool, the 53 to Bilston, and of course the 81 to Dudley, and my favourite, the 891 to Telford, operated a rail replacement service within Stourbridge, connecting the town centre and the junction station, and that was referred to as the 1X. If you remember the 1X route that operated between Stourbridge Junction and the town centre. And so here we go. We are now on our way to the junction station. So Bangor was another service that operated between the junction and the town station. However, that was only during the peak times, during morning journeys, and then that bus then went on to the 891 to cover a break, and then it returned to Stourbridge. But however, that route stopped in 2021. So here we go. We're now coming to the junction station. So this is the junction station here in Stourbridge. So we're now coming into the junction station. So this is going to stop outside one of the platforms. So it will stop outside, I think it's platform 3. And that's for train services to Kiddy and Worcester. And of course, platform 2 is for trains to Birmingham and Solihull and Stratford. Whilst platform 1 is for the shuttle train down to Stourbridge town, from where we were earlier. So this is the bus stop. And as you know, no bus services serve the junction station anymore. So that means if you need to get... Well, they don't serve the car park anymore. So if you need to get to the train, you have to get off at the bus stops outside and you have to walk to the station and then go through the booking office and either take the stairs, but there are lifts to gain access to the 3 busy platforms. But however, it might be best if you caught the shuttle from the town station to connect to the junction rather than having to walk up that pavement. So anyway, we're now heading back into Old Swinford, and then we're going to be heading over to Kinver. So then, this is Kinver, the final destination. And so this was the green bus version, and the next upcoming version will be the select bus version, when the route was changed no longer to serve the junction station and also High Park. And that was a recent video filmed this year. So I'm now going to so keep watching as the select bus version's coming up. So that's the end of the video, and this shows you how operators have changed over the last few years, running the 242 route between Stourbridge and Kinver, since originating from the days of the Kinver Light Railway, and of course the days of the 227 and the 228 routes. So anyway, this is now my end title to the route. So I will just show you videos of the route being operated by the current operator, Select Bus Services, who will continue to run the service up until the end of this month. And it will be all the best for Diamond Bus, who will be returning to the route, and I will be looking forward to be travelling on Diamond in September. So we'll welcome back Diamond to run the 242. I didn't mean to say all the best, I'd just say let's all look forward to seeing Diamond doing the 242 once again. Until then, bye for now.
way, but they're being late because there it's not got the other transport, like yeah. You would have got there. I was trying to get there at 9. So you would have got there at 9. They would have probably missed it. So we'd have to walk away. I didn't like to look back because so many faces would get in there. I was so scared of that.
currently the green bus, and previously the Diamond 228 from Russell's Hall Hospital via Merry Hill.